Could you tell us your name and tell us about your project?
My name is Arthur Eddington, and my project is the observation of the solar eclipse. Yeah.
What were you guys trying to do or find?
We were trying to find if Einstein's theory of general relativity was correct. We were trying to prove it. And we were doing this by observing the way that light bent around the sun. And more specifically, we know that we did this by taking photos of a group of stars behind the sun called the Hydes cluster during a complete solar eclipse, and then comparing that to a photo of the Hydes cluster without the sun being there and measuring the distance. And this would prove that Einstein's theory of general relativity is correct.
Where did the project or experiment occur?
It occurred in two different places, one of those being Sobral, Brazil, and the other being the Principe Island off of the coast of West Africa. And we did this because, the solar eclipse follows such a fine line across the world when it does occur. And in case one area had cloud cover or another technical issue, we had a backup.
What other significant events were happening around the world at this time?
During this time, we had just gotten out of the Great War, and that was during, 1918 is when that ended. And about halfway through 1919, which is when I did this experiment, we had the Treaty of Versailles was signed, and also a new revolutionary invention of the shortwave radio was invented around that time as well.
Who else was involved in the project?
Charles Davidson was involved, as well as Andrew Cromlin. They were the pair that went to Sobral, Brazil, at the Royal Greenwich Observatory to take photos of the solar eclipse down there. But Edwin Cunningham accompanied me to the observatory in Principal, and he had to accompany me because my two original assistants unfortunately passed away during the war.
What was your role in the project?
I oversaw the project. It was my idea that this is a way we could measure this from Earth, because this is a relatively difficult concept to measure from Earth, especially in the technology of today. And I oversaw the procedure and made the way of gathering data, and also oversaw how we gathered data for this experiment, as well as running the calculations to prove that.
What impact did your project have on the physics community?
My project was groundbreaking for the physics community. It changed everything in terms of how we think about space, how we understand gravity, and especially that light cannot travel in a perfectly straight line. That's relatively difficult to comprehend, and that was very shocking for the physics community.
If you could tell your future self anything, what would it be?
I would want to tell myself to stay true to my Quaker beliefs. That being of pacifism, and not to try to understand the galaxy scientifically, but rather look at it through a spiritual manner.